Welcome to the source. The source.
Grimace time.
Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you all had a nice Monday night. It was a lovely one, too. My picks on the live show yesterday, 4-0. How do you like that? I still haven't even begun to heal the wounds that is college football, but hey, nice little Monday. We got System Plays here, rocking his spectacles. Let's get him on the screen. AJ?
Yeah, I'm trying, sir. Just 1 second.
Oh, you lost the mouse?
Did we lose him?
Oh, no. I thought you lost your cursor.
No.
All right, so it's NHL opening night. We got 3 games on the board. So just 3 to go through. But the first one is St. Louis at Seattle. System Plays, do you have a bet for this one?
I wanted to take the Kraken, but like we're pretty much priced out at this point. It was like minus 130 earlier. Now it's like minus 150, minus 160. So I guess just to lean to the Kraken. I mean, I don't think the Blues are going to be very good this year. Kraken, I mean, they're not really a team I want to lay minus 150 with or take the regulation money line because I don't really trust them to score a lot of goals. So it's just Kraken lean for me. I don't like betting too much earlier in the season because like we haven't even seen these teams play yet besides in the preseason. And then the preseason doesn't matter. It's like the NFL. So yeah, just lean to the Kraken here.
Seattle, Kraken, or lean. What yeah, we'll go on to the next one. I know he likes this one. You took a shot with the dog here. Wouldn't Boston be something that would be considered a public dog? This is coming from someone that doesn't follow hockey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could be public. I've seen it's about like 50-50, but I mean today, I mean obviously slate isn't great. You kind of want to just take shots with the dogs. Like all the favorites are like minus 160, minus 170 range. But obviously, this is probably the best game on the board. It's Panthers-Bruins rematch. Obviously, the Panthers eliminated the Bruins in the last 2 years from the playoffs. A lot of people seem to be low on the Bruins this year, but it was the same thing last year. Like I saw a lot of people who are betting Bruins to miss the playoffs, all that stuff this year. They were the same people who were doing it last year, and they still put together a good team, even though, their captain retired last year. A lot of people thought they were going to be bad after they blew it in the first round in 2022. But I think they'll put a solid team together this year. Like they mostly have all the same players as last year. They got Lindholm on defense, so that's a new acquisition for them. Yeah, I get that it's Korpisalo starting and not Swayman after they had that whole thing with the Swayman contract, him not signing. It's still Korpisalo starting. They acquired him in the offseason too. Obviously, he was really bad last year, but like the Bruins, they have these really good goalie coaches. They can turn, mid to average goalies into really good ones. We saw that with Linus Ullmark, who came in from Buffalo. He was about average, and then he wins the Vezina the next year. So I think, this team is like they play really good defense, so they're gonna step up for Korpisalo in his first start for the Bruins. Obviously the Panthers are the champs. You might see a little bit of cup hangover here. It's kind of like, you fade the Super Bowl winners in week 1 in the NFL. Panthers, they're raising the banner tonight. Bruins eliminated by them last season, so maybe that gives them some extra motivation.
Our graphic says plus 135. You got to think one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. I like it. Bruins money line. Our viewers are looking towards the Bruins too. 59%, 28%. So looks like as far as the viewership goes, they're betting the Bruins also. And then we have one more hockey game. And now in the group last night, you sent a Utah GIF. Were you just talking shit, or are you really betting Utah here?
No, I can't bet. I mean, I would definitely lean Utah. I mean, this is the Arizona Coyotes from last year. They sold the team and they moved them to Utah, so they don't even have a name yet. They're just the Utah Hockey Club. But yeah, I lean like Utah minus 1.5 is like minus 150, or sorry, plus 150. So that's how I would play it if I wanted to. But like the Blackhawks, I mean, they're probably going to be one of the worst teams again. Like I get that they made some moves in the offseason, but like it's still like not really enough for me. and especially like the first game in Utah, like they're actually gonna have like a crowd behind them. Like in Arizona, they were playing in the Arizona State Arena, which is a max capacity of like 5,000. So there was never really like a crowd because they didn't have like an arena. So now they actually have like fans. So I think they win in their opening night in Utah, but obviously -170 is not really worth it. So Utah -1.5 or pass.
Utah -1.5 at pass. The Blackhawks must be ass to be getting this kind of plus price against well, I guess they're not an expansion team though. They're the Coyotes, right?
Yeah, the Coyotes were an expansion team. The Blackhawks are original 6 team, but they've been bad for a while.
True. All right, System Plays. Thanks. We'll let you know when he's back on Twitter or what he ends up doing. As of right now, he's sharing plays in the group. So thanks for joining. Talk to you soon, man.
All right.
All right, WNBA up next. Oh, did I send? No, I did send it to Chris. Let me just double check. Yep, I sent it to Chris. So WNBA up next, 1 game, and then we'll. One game, and then we'll get into some MLB. What do you guys want to talk about in the meantime? Looks like the poll, Utah won the poll there as well in that last one. Some of the comments. Trolling System Plays, bro. Let's talk about baseball. We got one more game. We got WNBA first, and then just one game, and we'll give Chris another couple minutes. I did send it to him. I said 350, so it's 352. Still can't get over that Bengals game. Yeah, I know. Sucks. Nothing stings more than losing with an NFL underdog in overtime. Because it's like, well, shit, you had it right. You took points. The game ended in a tie. That's a win. Sucks. Especially when like the handicap was spot on. Like, hey, the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball and score, but the Bengals are going to throw the ball over Baltimore and score right back. It was exactly what we expected. We had the game handicapped perfect. No, I didn't handicap that the holder would fuck up a field goal. I did not include that.
The bad cap.
All right, so let's give it a. Kyle, are you a true believer in Washington, or you just like the hat? Well, I mean, it's tough not to be this is just a hat. I have a hat for almost every team. But this, so I'm not wearing this hat in like solidarity to like I stand with Washington. It's just a hat. But I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with what they're doing. I mean, I think Cliff Kingsbury got kind of a bad rap there in Arizona. Didn't really have a ton to work with. Couldn't make it work. And I think maybe he's reminding people of like why he was given that job when a lot of people were like, well, how the fuck did Kingsbury get hired? Well, he's showing us that he's pretty creative offensively, and obviously seemed to have hit the jackpot with Jaden Daniels. I'm really impressed with. I mean, I'm not surprised at all that he's able to make all these plays athletically. We saw it at LSU. I'm surprised at the versatility. We see this dude picking apart defenses from the pocket now. I mean, the last couple of games more so than the first couple. But, I mean, he's improvising. He's getting out of the pocket, then going through a couple progressions and making it throw. Like, things that you just don't see rookies doing. So, yeah, I'm a believer in Washington, I'd say. But that's not why I'm wearing the hat. Chris is here, though.
Oh.
That's right. Chris is a Commanders fan.
Evil villain had ass laugh.
You got a big one. You got a big one this Sunday. The sevens are gone though. If you were trying to take Commanders +7, it's
8.5 was available. Look ahead line last week.
It's 6.5 now.
Yeah. Under the key number 7 though. So off the overtime game. I don't know, man.
I don't know what's right. How do you not like the commies at that number?
Yeah, don't talk about them too much, guy.
All right, so let's talk about WNBA. Connecticut Minnesota. What's going on? I don't even know what's going on in this series.
2-2, Kyle. Winner goes on to take on the Liberty on Thursday. First game or Saturday, whenever it starts. Yeah, I think it's Saturday. Winner takes all in this game though, and they end up facing the Liberty. And I think it'll be 1 day off of rest, 2 days off of rest, in the WNBA championship.
All right, so
Big game.
Winner moves on. Loser goes home. Who's winning?
The Minnesota Lynx are going to win, and they're going to cover. At least that's what I bet. I did bet them minus the 4. So I think it was a 4 available on DraftKings. And Cal, I mean, it's just like any other sport, right? When you get this deep into it, it's not but so many different trends and numbers that you can look into. It's really just who you think is the better team, or you think is going to, win that game. And, in this game, it's been some back and forth. Connecticut went on the road and went into this gym, and they won game 1. Upset the Minnesota Lynx, beat them. I think they beat them by 3. Yeah, 73-70 in that game. Nafisha Collier missed the game time 3-pointer. Minnesota bounces back. They win game 2. They go to Connecticut, win game 3, and then they actually had I think it was a 9-point lead at game 4. Like, potentially closing it out at halftime of game 4. Not even having to come back home at all. So they put themselves in a little bit of a pickle here because they probably should have just won that game. And Connecticut's not, I mean, they're a super veteran team. They got a lot of depth, but Minnesota can play defense. And I do expect, their home crowd to be behind them tonight. And I'll say this for what it's worth. The team that has actually won, they've covered every single time in this series. So if you expect the Minnesota to win a short number like 4, they've covered that number every single time. These games were close in the regular season. Every single matchup was decided by less than 5 points. And then the playoffs have started, and every single team that's won have actually covered the number. So I like Minnesota on the short line. I think, the role players play a lot better at home. Nafisha Collier probably was the MVP of the WNBA if Asia Wilson wasn't playing. And she also she was the defensive player of the year. So Courtney Williams and, all of the Elena Smith and Bridget Carlton, they have more depth off their bench as well. I'll take them to get over the hump here, win that game, and get absolutely smoked by the Liberty in the finals.
All right, Minnesota Lynx -4 in a winner go home game. All right, thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
That's Chris's name on the screen, Chris Be Cappin with 2 N's. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, named the same thing. He does a morning show every morning. Right now it's WNBA, but he does some NFL stuff, also NBA he's big with. So if you plan on betting the NBA this year, make sure you give him a follow. Chris?
Appreciate you, Kyle. Best hat I've seen you had on for the whole entire show, and I really liked that Dolphins one a couple weeks ago. Best of luck tonight, fellas.
Talk to you later, man.
All right.
All right. It's time.
Up. Cursor disappeared. Mother effer. Guide me to him.
Right there.
I got him. I got him right there.
Get down.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Cursor there it is.
Right there?
Little right. The tiniest bit right there. Little up. There. Hey.
Okay.
Hold on 1 sec. AJ's cursor disappeared. He's got to get toast on the screen. All right. Up. There you go. All right. Next up, Phillies. Down. Right. Up. Left. Well, there it is. Waiting for toast to pop up on the screen. Why didn't it work? Hold on. This will come back any second. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
All right. AJ's going to fix the thing when his cursor comes back. But Phillies, Mets, this is it. It all comes down to this. Well, actually, it doesn't. It's only game 3. But it feels like it all comes down to this.
You're such a typical Mets fan. It all comes down to this.
It all comes down to this. So you had mentioned previously, and by the way, I think you, Andy, and Lindy are all wrong. I think if the Phillies lose this game, Zach Wheeler pitches game 4.
No.
Yeah, Andy says no. Toast said no. Oh, no, Andy's on my side. I think if the Phillies lose this game, Zach Wheeler pitches game 4 with the season on the line.
I completely disagree, but we shall see.
Yeah, the Phillies will just go into the game with their season on the line and let their dudes sit.
It's not about dude sitting. It's just about you're not going to have him at nearly 100% off of a huge game that he's coming off of. And you have Ranger Suarez that has proven himself on the road and in the playoffs before. You have to trust your guys. If Rob Thompson starts making decisions like this, that's going to affect everything else in the playoffs if they do win that game. So just really hard for me. It's just really hard for me to see them making that decision, especially Rob Thompson. He just doesn't do that type of thing.
Well, he should if his season's on the line.
I will say, though, Andy must be in high spirits. I texted him this morning. I said, "Do you believe?" in all caps. And he said, "Oh, I believe."
He's wearing a Mets jersey. You're about to see him when we talk about college football. So, personally, if the Mets win tonight, which is an if, it's a pick 'em. Nola's on the mound. But if the Mets win tonight and they don't start Zach Wheeler in Game 4, we will not see Zach Wheeler pitch again this season.
That would be correct.
So who do you like tonight? Or who do you like in 1 hour, I should say?
Grimace, money line. Waited for it. The best I got minus 102 on FanDuel. And I put a full unit on it. Does it terrify me a little bit that I have been like one of the bigger Sean Manaea haters in this world? But I cannot take away what he has shown this year with the Mets. Not only starting off the year pretty damn solid, had a little bit of a dip, and then really started figuring things out. Did he have a bad start in Milwaukee? Yes. But besides that, over his last 7 starts, been really almost untouchable at times. Besides that Milwaukee start, he did face this Phillies team 3 times this year. 2 of them were pretty damn good. He went 6 and 7 innings, gave up 3 runs in one of them, the most recent one, and then one way back he gave up 1 run, and then the Phillies also lit him up 1 time as well. But we're getting Aaron Nola on the mound now. Obviously, I respect Aaron Nola a lot. This isn't me trying to take shots at Aaron Nola. I respect him a lot. He's made me a lot of money, especially in the playoffs, especially on the road in the playoffs. And there's a huge but behind that. Going back to 2022, which I don't really like doing, but I just wanted to throw a grand scape of what this looks like. Going back to 2022, he's faced this Mets team 4 times. He's pitched really well against them 1 time. That was earlier this year in May. He went 9 innings, gave up 4 hits and no runs. That was absolute gem.
Asterisk. That was pre-Grimace. Go ahead.
I know. I'm just trying to paint the picture for everybody.
I just need people to know.
Besides that start, the 3 others included 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs. Also, his last start on the road against Washington wasn't that impressive. 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs. Yes, it's a different situation with the playoffs, but if you look at Aaron Nola on his days rest this season, he has not been good when he has a lot of rest. Maybe that's because, the sinker isn't sinking and he doesn't have the feel for his pitches. But on 4 days rest, he's pitched 89 innings. He has a 2.93 ERA. When he has regular 5 days rest, 93 innings pitched, 2.89 ERA. When he has 6+ days of rest this season, he's pitched 17 innings and he has an ERA at almost 11. That is concerning to me. When you're facing this Grimace team that just doesn't know how to lay down, and quite frankly, the fact that they lost that game or the other game 2 in a walk-off doesn't really bother me that much. If the Phillies can find that magic again in Citi Field tonight, so be it. But this Mets team continues over and over again to show that they can score runs late in ball games, and that's the team that I want my money to be on. It's their first home game, and I don't know how many home playoff game, and I don't know how many years. City's going to be absolutely rocking tonight. There is no chance in hell I'm not betting Grimace tonight. So Grimace money line for me. I really went back and forth with this one. I didn't place this bet till earlier this morning. I was trying extremely hard not to caught up in that Grimace emotion, but I landed on the Grimace. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, it'll be Mets, of course. I mean, it's my favorite team in the biggest game of the season. Every game here on out is the biggest game of the season, so it'll be Mets for me.
Let's get to the show, though.
Let's get to Dodgers Padres. I already know. I mean, that's a lot of juice to lay.
For the show.
And also, these pitchers are reversed. Michael King pitches for the Padres. Walker Buehler pitches for the Dodgers. So those of you looking at the graphic on the screen, those pitchers are reversed.
For for the purposes of my bets in the show, Padres first 5 run line -105, -110, whatever the number is. I did place a bet on the Padres money line myself. It's -150. It's probably a little bit higher than that by now. But I mean, that's just not, again, it's just not as sexy. I think that first 5 play is much better isolating King versus Buehler. But yeah, I just think that this series, I honestly think this series is over. I think that after what we saw in Dodger Stadium, I think it's going to be extremely hard for the Dodgers to come back against that, not just because they lost 10-2, but the fact that they had to, not only did the Padres start hitting some of their bullpen arms and hitting them very hard, now the Dodgers are forced to have Walker Buehler on the mound, who we all know, if you've been watching this channel, hasn't been himself this season. Has he pitched some better, has he had some better starts over the last part of the year? Sure. He went on the road in Atlanta. He pitched well. He did pitch well against the Padres about a couple weeks ago. But Colorado lit him up. The Cubs lit him up. Baltimore lit him up. I mean, if Baltimore's lighting you up, you know you got serious issues. And then he had a decent start on the road in LA. But again, the only start that's been really impressive for him over his last 7 was that start against the Padres. And the fact that they're seeing him again in such short turnaround. I mean, it is 2 weeks, but I still give the advantage to the Padres. Not to mention the fact that the Padres lineup is just absolutely locked in right now. I told you guys about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that I've never seen Fernando Tatis locked in like I've seen him right now. Not just what he's doing at the plate, but what he's doing on the bases and whatnot. And in this postseason, Fernando Tatis is 9 for 14 with 3 home runs, two doubles, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 3 walks, and he hasn't struck out yet. He's playing on a different level right now. Now you have the world talking about Manny Machado and him pissed off. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, and I know that I'm a Padres homer, but I think that the Padres absolutely smack these boys into another Bolivian tonight. So Petco's going to have 50,000 people in there absolutely going crazy. I don't think that Walker Buehler has a chance in hell to pitch well here tonight. And what we've seen from Michael King over the course of the year, I have no reason to believe that he doesn't pitch well here tonight. Again, he has 3 starts against the Dodgers this year. His first one, he got absolutely obliterated it. He followed it up by having a start at home and a start in Dodger Stadium where he went 12 total innings, gave up 5 hits and 1 run, and he struck out 14 Dodgers. He hasn't walked a guy in a couple starts. I just think that he's pitching out of his mind right now, and we've seen this in postseasons past. When these guys get on runs, it's just really hard to hit them. You've seen it with Skubal. I think you're going to see it here again tonight with King. Am I a Padres homer? 100%. But there's nothing that you can show me that you think that the Dodgers can win this game. The only thing that you can say is getting in the Dodgers at this huge plus price as a value play. But besides that, there is nothing that's going the Dodgers' way tonight. Not to mention the fact, is Freddie Freeman going to play? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like how
if Freddie Freeman's out, the Dodgers are dead.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say that the Dodgers probably win this game, not just the pitching advantage, but also the Padres won last game so comfortably that the Dodgers haven't really, I don't think they've seen Suarez yet in this series, right?
Oh, what a great point. I didn't want to keep on going on a little soliloquy, but yes, the Padres bullpen not being used very much the last couple of nights is just another huge advantage for the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, based on the current situation and the pitching matchup, this game's in Petco, that like you have to think that you have to say the Padres probably win this game, but -155 against the Dodgers just seems freaking crazy to me. So
I would agree with that. That's why I said I think the first 5 run line is the best play. And if you really want to play the Padres, I guess lay the juice. But
I would say maybe Padres team total over, maybe a 4 or 3, an expensive 3.5. If the Padres are going to lose this game, I would say King probably gets sparked. With Buehler on the mound, I can't say I expect the Padres to lose a low-scoring game. So I would say probably Padres team total over. That would probably be my favorite.
3.5. You're gonna have to pay 150 for it. Everything else. I know.
On Caesars they let you bet the even number, so I bet I could get like a reasonable 4.
True.
With Walker Buehler.
Yeah, you would, because at Caesars it's 4.5 is plus 110, so you got to assume.
I bet you I could get like a -118 4 or something. So I'd probably go somewhere like that. I don't know. I don't have a bet on the game. So
I also a couple props. I talked about how hot Fernando Tatis is. So Fernando Tatis over 1.5 total bases as well. And I also did Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill hit parlay at plus 157. So
All right.
Have at it, comments. Have at it.
Let's talk about college football last. Later, toast.
Later, boys.
Our truth. Let's bring our truth on. The poll, by the way, leaning Padres, but not overwhelming. 52%, 36%. So as far as the viewers go, you guys leaning towards the Padres, but there's definitely a lot of people out there taking the Dodgers at plus money. So it's not an overwhelming side or anything. Scoop.
What up?
Scorcher of a game on tonight.
Oh yeah, I actually bet this, so that's a problem. Maybe that's
I bet
just saying something about myself.
Oh
then.
wait, did I actually place the? Hold on, I'm checking right now if I actually placed it. I'm down to put a few dollars on it if I didn't.
I had my first positive college football weekend, so
There we go.
that's something.
I had a couple winning weeks, or I think 1 week 0 and week 2. I had a couple winning weeks early, but the 3 of the last 4 have been brutal for me. But all right. We got FIU Liberty. Is this line down to 16.5 now?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So indicative of some action coming in on the FIU side. You guys, I mean, for those of you that didn't watch my video, I'll run through it briefly. Well, actually, why don't you guys go first? Because most of these people probably already know what I think. They probably watched the video. So who would like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. So Liberty was supposed to run the table here, or at least lose one game going straight to the conference championship. They're still on the way, but they definitely haven't been dominant like they were last year. The only game they covered was against East Carolina 2 weeks ago, and they were down 17-0 early. In fact, they only scored with 2 minutes left in the game to put that game away and to cover. I mean, one thing you can say about this college football season is dogs are covering or just outright winning. So Liberty has the better players. They have better skill for sure. I know their game got canceled last week against Appalachian. So, I mean, listen, I know FIU lost to Monmouth. They gave up a ton of points, a ton of yards. But Liberty's only quality opponent so far was that East Carolina game. Keon Jenkins hasn't been bad at all. He could throw against his Liberty team. Liberty's 58th in the country against the pass. That's not great. I know FIU struggled against the run. That may be an issue because Liberty constantly runs the ball. But they showed a huge improvement against Louisiana Tech last week, and with Liberty most likely going up, earlier in this game, Jenkins has shown he's capable of throwing it, and there's a lot less turnovers this year than last year. So,
Prop Beaver, just get rid of the chat. There's a racist dude in the comments, please. So just hit the eyeball on it and get rid of it.
Yeah, I know. What the hell is good with the chat today?
Some people are really
Yeah,
messed up.
they are. I mean, the last few games, Keon Jenkins, he's been averaging about 280 yards through the air. And Eric Rivers looks to be on the same page as him every game. So I think almost 3 scores is too much here. I think the Liberty team that hasn't shown much offensively, and defensively they're shaky in the secondary. So I'm going to take a chance at FIU with the points. I think they can definitely cover. I think this will be actually a closer game than people think.
By the way, that's not really Helms. Someone made a fake name to do that. So just so everyone knows, some people have something wrong with them. Mute that guy too. Prop Beaver. All right. So, Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, I like what Scoop did just mention something that FIU did a really good job against La Tech against the run. But La Tech doesn't run the ball. That's a team that throws the ball almost exclusively. And that's the opposite of Liberty. Liberty just wants to run the ball. They will use Sawyer through the pass if they need him, but I don't think they're going to need him here. I think they're going to be able to run all over FIU. You look at the other games that they played besides the La Tech game, like I just said, La Tech only wants to throw the ball. Monmouth, 5.1 yards per carry. FAU, a bad offense, 5 yards per carry. 5.9 for Indiana. Obviously, that's Indiana, but their best performance other than La Tech was 4.5 yards per carry against Central Michigan. I mean, they're getting run all over by everybody. Nobody's throwing on them, which is fine, but Liberty doesn't want to throw. So I think that offensively, I think Liberty's just going to have way too much. And then you look at the other side. Jenkins looked better in their one game against Monmouth, but other than that, I'm not exactly inspired by some of these performances. He was good against FAU. FAU's not a good football team. La Tech, he was average. He hasn't been particularly strong either. So I just think Liberty's going to crush them here. 17's a good number. I think they win this one by about 17. So now that it's down to 16.5, I really like it. But I was leaning Liberty or Liberty team total no matter what anyway. I think this game's going to be all Liberty.
Yeah, I agree. And I know that there have been times, like Scoop said, where Liberty hasn't quite lived up to the standard of what we thought they would be this year, but I still don't see anything on the defensive side for FIU that indicates they could even slow down this rushing attack. And the strength of FIU this year, it was supposed to be the pass rush. And honestly, I think it's going to come around now that we're getting into conference play. I think FIU might have a solid pass rush. We haven't really seen it yet. But like I said, now the conference play is starting. I could see myself taking FIU against teams in Conference USA that throw the ball, maybe in Middle Tennessee. I think that's a good matchup. But this Liberty team, they're not trying to throw the ball. All they want to do is run it, and there's not a goddamn thing FIU can do to slow it down. So as much as I do think Jenkins is capable of making plays, and it's crazy to say because if you watched FIU before, if you've ever sweated out an FIU bet with Jenkins at quarterback and watched it, you know, like,
I have. It's not great.
It's not great. It's tough to put your money on this kid, but I mean, he does make some plays. It's ugly looking and it's hard to explain, but he does make plays. And if you look at the FIU offense, I mean, let me see. 1 second. Last 3 games, yes, one was Monmouth, like Andy said. He had a monster game against Monmouth. Who cares? But in his last 3 games as a whole, he's averaging 8.7 yards per attempt, 286.7 passing yards per game. The FIU offense as a whole, in their 3, they were held to, I think it was 17 points last week. In the 3 games before that, they were averaging like 38 points a game. Yeah, again, not against elite defenses, but Liberty's defense I wouldn't necessarily classify as elite either. So it's hard for me to lay the points with Liberty. In the YouTube video last night, I said over. But, I mean, from judging by the comments, I don't really trust this kind of data, but a bunch of people commented saying there's all kinds of money coming in on the over. I don't know the legitimacy of those comments, but, yeah, I think if you were going to place a bet, it's actually moved up to 55.5. Last night I said 54.5. Should have bet it. But yeah, if you force me to place a bet in this game, it'd be over. And because it's the only football game on, I'll probably
put money on it.
Yeah, I'll probably put a few dollars on the over just to watch it. But this just feels way too crazy with all kinds of different outcomes. I personally don't think FIU is able to stop Liberty's rushing attack. So there's no way I could get to FIU plus the points, even though I kind of want to.
Also, I did bet this at 17, just not 16.5. So in case someone
there's 15.5s available as well. I'm seeing now. So
it's going. It keeps going down.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm a little nervous about, Liberty hasn't played a football game in 17 days now. That usually wouldn't concern me, but for a team that was kind of playing poorly compared to what we expected, like they had a close game against Mexico State. That game against ECU wasn't great. Like you said, they were down 17-0. They didn't have a good rhythm going yet, and now they had 17 days off, so maybe they come out slow, but I'm still going to lean that they'll pick it up through the game goes on and cover.
All right. So do we want to do a community parlay? Or
as long as Grimace is...
There's one college football game, 2 baseball.
Just combine it. Just combine all the picks that you made.
How about this? Community top bet, and we'll do the so they like Liberty? All right, we'll do one poll, Prop Beaver. So they like... I'm pretty sure the Mets won the poll.
Better have. Yes.
So Mets money line. Padres money line, Liberty minus 16.5, and Bruins money line. And we'll just do a community favorite bet. Give me a reason for FIU money line. Ugh. Okay, a reason for FIU money line. 1 sec. A reason for FIU money line. Liberty because of the canceled games the canceled game due to the hurricane. Liberty hasn't played a football game in 17 days. Definitely could be some rust factor there. I mean, that's a long time in the middle of the season. We're talking about like that's how long you wait in between bowl season. That's a long time since they played a football game. Also, FIU is supposed to be better this year. We haven't seen it yet because like early in the season you play all kinds of different conferences and you play this conference and this conference and a non-conference schedule, and then now we're getting into this is the time of year. I'm really fucking the words up here. This is the time of year where you really start to find out who these teams are. And this FIU team entering the season was supposed to be better this year. So even though we haven't really seen it, it wouldn't be crazy for a college football team to show you who their identity is around this time. Week 6, 7, 8, 9. Now the conference play has started. So this line would be indicative of FIU has not changed from last year. If you believed what they were saying in the offseason that FIU was supposed to be better, probably should be about 14. But you know what? Liberty also hasn't played up to their potential either. So there's a counterpoint to that. Tough. For FIU money line, it's tough to give you a pitch here, man.
I mean, 17's, yeah. There's a reason.
What's the community?
They lost to Monmouth. I mean,
They beat Monmouth.
no, they didn't.
I thought they did.
Oh,
it was
man.
close, whatever it was.
It was close. It was a close loss.
It was close. A close loss.
That's right. They lost by that.
No, they lost 45-42. They
I
put
watched
up
the
hella
end of that
points,
game.
though.
They actually had the ball at the 1 yard line when the clock expired, so they should have probably won.
The Mets money line. Grimace is the bet, the community favorite bet.
Hell yeah.
Everyone, thanks for watching.
Underdog.
Oh, yeah, my underdog. We've hit, I think, Prop Beavers hit 2 in a row, and I hit my last one. So I think as a group, we've hit 3 consecutive underdogs. This is the one I built for the baseball, which is Aaron Nola. Hold on, I can't see it on the screen yet. One sec. Let me get it up. Okay, Aaron Nola lower than 17 pitching outs. Grimace will get him out of there. Also, it's the playoffs. Pitchers tend to be on shorter leashes. There's that as well. So Aaron Nola lower than 17 outs. Shohei Ohtani higher than half walk. That's my underdog pick 'em for tonight. If you don't have an underdog fantasy account, you can use this free or this free square, I guess it's called. Brock Purdy over a half, higher than a half. What, passing
Total
yard?
yards.
Total yard. So Brock Purdy higher than a half total yard. If you don't have the that's if you don't have an account and you're located in one of these stats highlighted in yellow. If you're located in one of these stats, head over to the website Underdog Fantasy or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you up to $1,000 deposit bonus match. So it's a 50% deposit bonus match. If you deposit $2,000, they give you a free $1,000. If you deposit $1,000, they give you a free $500, etc. So the promo code is BET, B-E-T. Thanks everyone for watching.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Since a lot of people don't know, we usually start Thursday, but if you're in the league, it starts today for your
Yeah,
right? So.
yeah. If you're in the betting league, you have to, because of the early football game. There's a half unit bet tonight that you have to submit. So if you don't submit your pick in tonight, not that you can still compete, but you'll start down a half unit from everyone else. So if you want to get in on that, make sure you submit your bet for the betting league either on the website or in the Discord.